But at the moment, DXY is looking pretty bearish. And this is kind of the move we've been looking for in terms of the short, medium-term move. We had that really aggressive move to the downside last week, and I was looking at this move as simply the correction of that, now expecting further downside. So that has been the plan with the dollar. Of course, long term, as I've stressed many times, I'm still overall bullish because we haven't taken out any bullish structure yet, or at least major structure. We've taken out some of these minor lows here, which is technically a break of structure, but to me, this is the last major low, which created the high over there. So technically speaking, I do want to see price take out that low. However, I can take counter trend opportunities like I did with pound USD. So if the market does push down, pull back, and looks like we are forming another lower high, I will be looking for opportunities on the corresponding USD pairs for opportunities whilst we still haven't taken out that low. So just because we haven't broken structure doesn't mean I'm immune to counter trend trades, but it does mean that the overall trend is still up until it's not. So this is still a very important low for me because, of course, this is the low create that high. But, of course, we've had a pretty strong move to the downside, and it looks like we're taking out these lows here at the moment. So what's the next move for the dollar? Well, I want to see how price reacts with the low here because although it looks like price is taking out the low right now, things can change very quickly. This time, I was going to say this time tomorrow. Well, yeah, this time tomorrow price could be looking pretty bullish, reacting to that low. So things can change pretty quickly. Again, I'm still under the pressure that the overall trend is down. However, we're still seeing pretty aggressive momentum to the downside here, which does tell me that, okay, the bears are at the moment in control of the market. And I would be careful about looking for any longs at the moment, especially if you're looking for anything long term. Sure, there probably will be a bounce at some point, but there's a good chance probably a lower high does form as we're starting to stack them in succession. We've got one over there, second over there, third over there, potentially a fourth could form, and more downside as well. So until we start to see some strength to the upside and maybe price taking out some highs, I would be a bit careful looking for longs on the DXY. So I'll be shorts on pound, shorts on euro, and we'll go through some other currency pairs in the moment. But at the moment, things look pretty bearish. I want to see how price reacts to the low. In terms of my analysis, price has done its job. It's pushed the low. Now it's time to kind of monitor price and see what we do next. I would still be bearish in terms of the current momentum, but like I said, at this low, things can change pretty quickly. We could be looking very bullish pretty soon. So I don't really have a setup right now for the dollar. Now that we have kind of seen that follow through, now kind of just time to wait and see how we progress. Although there's a few USD pairs where I do think there's a lot more movement to come, and we'll go through them shortly. In terms of EURUSD, pretty much this exact same situation in terms of a strong move to the upside. This is essentially what I'll be looking for on euro, some nice momentum to the upside, breaking through the highs. I said on the weekly analysis last week that if we can see some upside break through the highs here, then you could catch a nice swing back to the high at 1.052 on some pullbacks, because now we've actually seen some bullish structure at play. You've got the low, you've got the high, you've got the higher low, and now you've got a higher high. So there is some flow of the market now. So in terms of looking for some opportunities for euro, I would say some intraday pullbacks look good back to the high. Perhaps the retest of that high on the left could be a great place to long from. Should we see a pullback there? Nice opportunity, catch the next high low. We've got one down there, second, third, fourth, could catch the number five, and then look to long it back to 1.053. I think it's a pretty good opportunity, especially with the weakness we're seeing with the dollar at the moment. Price is breaking structure, so the odds of euro suddenly falling to the downside is pretty low now. We probably will likely take out that high first if we are going to sell off, but still, this is a very, very corrective move in the market now. I'm not really seeing a comfortable and very free-flowing bearish trend at the moment. It's definitely something that looks like it could be forming potentially a bottom. Of course, not confirmed yet, but it is giving the characteristics of a bottom in terms of starting to really fade at the lower lows, starting to start placing higher lows as well. Overall, very corrective market structure, not really seeing much momentum anymore. So it does have some characteristics of potentially a bit of a bottom, which could mean a lot more upside for EURUSD long term, but I'm not necessarily looking for that just yet. I want to see if we can break through the highs first, and then maybe we can speak about some higher lows again on the 4-hour chart. shortly afterwards. But for now, in terms of a nice intraday move, at least one for the next few days, yeah, some pullbacks and the pushback to the high make a load of sense. In terms of pound USD, so this one very strongly to the upside. I did manage to close my trade at the highs there yesterday, so nice position there. However, I did say I was looking to short the market as well. Should we see rejection at the highs? And we just haven't seen that. Price broke for the highs yesterday. Nice 4-hour candle close, and we haven't really seen any bearish momentum since then. So I'm still on edge because we could still very much turn quickly, and we could see a massive bearish engulfing come out of nowhere, and that would be my entry signal to get into the position. But at the moment, there is no sign of that, so I have to be careful. And for all I know, pound USD might just run to the upside at this moment in time. So with pound, I am still bearish in terms of the overall market structure, like I am with euro, like I'm bullish with dollar, the DXY. The overall structure is still pointing down, so we could at any moment in time put that lower high in, but things are not really adding up because, again, my idea is not, okay, let me just keep following a trend. It has to be a good opportunity within a trend. And right now, I'm not really seeing a good opportunity or any opportunity really within this bearish trend. So I'm kind of just staying on the sidelines at the moment. Happy with the long position, but in terms of the shorts, I'm kind of holding my horses a little bit, unless we see a really sharp recovery and price comes crashing back down. I haven't checked the news today, so I'm not too sure if we've got any big news for USD. I don't think we do. I have some small ones. I think we've got some Euro GDP news, I think. But yeah, at the moment, pound USD is looking pretty bullish. Again, don't really have a setup for this one just yet. If we come crashing back below the highs, I'll consider some shorts. But at the moment, not really seeing much signs of that happening just yet. Dollar CAD, though, is a very interesting one, and one I'm keeping a very close eye on because now we've finally got the breakout. So dollar CAD, I've been looking for the break of this support for a while. We've just been consolidating for the past week. Again, kind of similar to the DXY in terms of we've had a really big drop there. And this was kind of like a correction or like a pause or consolidation, however you want to call it. Similar to what we had with the DXY, strong drop. DXY was correcting most of last week, and now we've got the follow through. That's kind of what we're getting with USD CAD. Of course, it's a dollar pair, so you do expect to see similar characteristics, but really strong move to the downside. Again, the reasons why we're expecting downside for dollar CAD is because, number one, we're testing a massive weekly resistance level, once over there, twice over there, and a third time over there as well. We rejected it very, very strongly last week, so the odds of us seeing more downside are pretty high. And of course, just looking at the overall characteristics of how price has been moving, I had a very comfortable bullish trend, but then that ended up in a range for a while. So it's either price was going to break out and continue the trend, or break out and fake out the high and perhaps maybe form a bit of a top, which looks like price has gone and done that at the moment. Again, really sharp break to the upside, but really sharp recovery. So given the characteristics of a fake out, and now that we've seen momentum to the downside, I'm expecting pullbacks and a lot more downside to follow there for dollar CAD. I'm looking at this weekly level around 1.4, just below 1.4, I believe. Yes, so just below 1.4, around 1.39. That's kind of where I'm expecting dollar CAD to end up at. So my job is just looking for some healthy corrections, shorting opportunities, and see if I can swing it down to that low, or at least where we form the next swing low on the 4-hour chart. So if you start to pull back from here, then of course that would be a nice target to have. Then you can leave some positions to run should we get to the weekly zone. But yeah, overall pretty bearish for dollar CAD here. So expecting a lot more downside, and I like this pair a lot. I like this pair, so going to be keeping a close eye. In terms of Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar, these guys are starting to pick a direction as well. I've talked a lot about them in terms of they're just been consolidating, again, looking like potentially forming a bit of a bottom. You can see where we're trading on the higher time frames, massive level of weekly support. And the fact is we're just consolidating, rejecting the lows. So that's why I've been looking for a bit of a bottom there for Aussie dollar. And as I said previously, it might just be a temporary bottom. It might be a situation where we pull back for a week or two and then continue down later. That could be the case. It could be a case we completely reverse from here. Of course, we don't know. But as traders, we just got to look for opportunities. And right now, it does look like things are switching in direction. A really strong double bottom back down at these lows here. And now that we're breaking through the highs with some momentum, similar situation to dollar CAD. We had the consolidation, prices broken out of that. I want to see a bit more upside before I do start to look for some pullbacks. The idea is looking for a higher low, perhaps maybe the retest of the consolidation. That would be a nice place for a long, and then expecting a lot more upside there for Aussie dollar. And this will be the situation or the opportunity I'm looking to take advantage of with this pair. And I can say the same with New Zealand dollar. Pretty much the same situation, except we haven't broken through the highs just yet, but I do anticipate us to go and do that. They do move pretty similar, so I expect to see similar price action. But again, if you zoom out to the higher time frames, where is New Zealand dollar trading? Right back at the swing low here as well. We've been bearish for quite a while, so the market's pretty overextended, hence why the chance or the odds of a pullback is pretty high. And now it looks like we're actually getting that. So if price can go break the highs, that would be fantastic, which is over there, and then we can start talking about some pullbacks, perhaps maybe the retest of the high over there or the retest of that high. Depends how big the breakout is, how big the pullback is. But again, something like that is what I'm looking to take advantage of and find some trades for. So very bullish on Aussie dollar, very bullish on New Zealand dollar, expecting some pullbacks, bearish on dollar CAD, and those are the dollar pairs which I actually like at the moment, or beginning to like at least. I'm not really seeing opportunities to take any trades just yet, but I think maybe next week sometime they could present some nice trades should that momentum continue. In terms of gold, I think just more upside for gold. Same old. Yeah, back to highs pretty much. We actually did get a nice 15-minute correction there. I was talking about some buys for gold yesterday because there was a really nice breaking retest over here the day before. Really nice retest there. Beautiful wick through the zone. I think that was from CPI. Really nice piercing wick. Price continued to the upside from there. Then I said the next best opportunity for gold will be a bit more of an intraday pullback. On the 15-minute chart, I was talking about this zone here. And we actually did see a really nice 15-minute correction there. Came back to test the prior resistance, turn support. Really nice entry there. And price has been climbing to the upside since then, and looks like we've just gone back to the highs there. So looks like maybe we'll create some new highs. We are slowing down. You can see momentum is starting to tie a little bit. So again, that's not necessarily a sign that I'm expecting gold to completely collapse, but it's a sign that we are starting to become a little bit more exhausted. You can see on the prior breakout, there's a lot of momentum there, a lot more momentum there, a lot more momentum there. Now we're becoming a bit more tired. So the bigger pullback for gold is going to happen eventually. Again, we still could potentially go tick off 3K before that bigger pullback happens, but it's going to happen soon. So I think if you're looking to trade gold, just keep it intraday in terms of your entries, ride that momentum. You can always leave positions to run. But in terms of a bigger swing for gold, we've already seen one. This is a huge swing to the upside. So in terms of entries on the higher time frames, you do want price to give you that bigger pullback, which will happen at some stage. And of course, continue to ride the trend. But yeah, very, very bullish for gold, back at highs. So I wouldn't recommend buying now. But perhaps if you can break through the highs and look for another pullback, there could be some more opportunities there. And silver's just loving life at the moment. Very, very bullish, breaking through the high there. So I'm liking silver. I was hoping for a slightly bigger correction, but unfortunately did miss out on the chance for that. Did not come back to the area I was speaking about past couple of days, so unfortunately missed out on that trade, but very, very confident move to the upside, and the move for silver back to the high is very much on. So keeping a very close eye on this one. Again, looking for the next pullback for this one. I think, again, we might see silver really pick up momentum. So in terms of the bigger pullback, we might not quite see one. So I would suggest, again, look at the lower time frames, 15-minute hourly chart. That's probably where you're going to find sufficient pullbacks to trade this one, because I'm not too sure if you will get some slightly bigger pullbacks, just because there might be so much momentum right now. It's a really healthy breakout. We've broken through resistance here. That's been ticked off. So the next big target is indeed the high over there. So onwards and upwards for silver. Look for pullbacks. I'll probably keep it intraday, but there's still a long way to go. So there should still be some opportunities. Just have to stay patient for it. But yeah, very bullish on silver, very bullish on gold. Still a little bit bearish on DXY, but just going to see how far we go in terms of reacting to the current level we're at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the DXY USD pairs in general. Okay, where were we? Okay, yeah, Dark Channel, I will go for your GJ position. It said your stop losses